Shit. I actually don't know where to start. Dude, this is actually such a hard episode. should we do this one more time?
Let's do it again.
All right, let's do it. All right. This is the last time we got this. All right. Hey guys, what's going on? My name is CJ and welcome to The Boothe, where we hope to give you the tools to inspire, motivate, and or help you find your purpose. With me today are the greatest co-hosts on this planet. Yes, starting off with Justin Bofshever.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for having me here. It's always an honor, and I'm super excited to be able to talk to everyone.
I didn't get your name wrong, right?
No, that was spot on today. Love it.
Yeah, phone call coming in.
Perfect, yeah. It's whatever, it's whatever. And then we've got Matthew Barran.
How you guys doing?
Hey, Matt.
Yes. How you guys doing?
That's it.
Amazing, man. Always shaking the mic here.
Yeah.
First podcast jitters, but always nice to be able to talk to some like-minded people and just an awesome, if you're watching this video, not just listening, I think you can see what I'm talking about. Just an awesome spot to come and talk this morning.
Yes, sir. And Matt, how about you? How you doing? You feeling a little nervous?
Doing well, you know. This is the earliest I've been up in a couple weeks. So.
Yeah, man. I thought for a second, I was like, oh my gosh, me and Buffy are going to have to do the first episode alone.
No,
man.
This man's not going to wake up.
Nah.
All right, so good. So let's just jump right in, okay? And I kind of want to give like the audience a little bit like about yourselves, like maybe a little bit about your story and like what it is that you want to do.
Yeah, definitely.
So who wants to start us off, or do you want me to start us off?
Yeah,
why don't you take the ropes here?
You give us a little.
We're in the booth, so let's hear from
boy.
CJ Boothe, everyone.
So, oh man, this is actually a very hard question, and I wasn't really planning on going first. So pretty much, shit. I actually don't know where to start. Dude, this is actually such a hard episode.
Let me take the ropes then.
All right, go ahead. You take the ropes.
I'll just jump in here. I'm diving in.
I got this lady calling me like a million times. Like,
all right. Well, what's up, everyone? My name is Justin Bofshever. I'm 23 years old, and I am really just learning to live my life now and live and enjoy it the way I wanted to. I grew up playing hockey. I started playing when I was like 2 years old in South Florida. I'm with some other South Florida hockey players, but not a lot of other people understand what that's like. So left when I was 15, lived on my own since then, got to live with a bunch of really cool roommates and billet families, and really chase that dream, chase that hockey life purpose really for like 18, 20 years. That was the only thing I used to do. Had some injuries and brought myself back down to Florida, where I've been pursuing a very cool revolutionary industry of the medical cannabis realm, where I've really got to see some cool things and help some cool people. And like I said, recently been getting into myself and my mental game and strength and transitioning from the sports world to the real world. And I'm just excited to be able to talk with everyone. And like you'll see, I talk a lot, so I hope you're ready.
all right. So, Matt, you want to go or you want me to go?
Yeah, I could say a little bit.
All right, go ahead.
I'm kind of in the same boat as Buffy over there, because I recently just like quit playing hockey. Not quit, but like I still play, but just for fun.
Yeah. But you pretty much left due to injury, right?
Yeah, due to injury and just it wasn't like where my life was heading, I guess. I started playing when I was around 6 years old, but I was a late bloomer. And here in Florida, like, it's even harder because, you know, it's not as skilled, I'd say, as up north. But I started playing hockey, like, around 6 years old. And then up until I was 15 years old, I played, like, rec hockey, which is, like, not, like, the highest level, obviously. It's just rec. But it was a passion of mine throughout my whole life. I wanted to be a hockey player, so I just kept playing, practicing, and I finally started playing travel hockey. Yeah. And then after that, I got into junior hockey, and I played here for Palm Beach, and then I played for the Everblades up in Fort Myers, and then I played for the Charlotte Rush up in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So, and then last year was my last year of hockey, and I got injured. I tore my ACL. So, that was it for me, and it's now I'm living like on a new experience.
Next journey. Yeah. Next chapter of the life.
Yeah, new chapter of my life. So.
And then just like me, which all of us are hockey players, I also I also pretty much dedicated my whole life to playing hockey. And like around, I think I quit when I was 18 or something like that. It was my last year in Fairbanks. 19. It was 18 I quit, and I literally put my whole life into that sport. Yeah. I didn't go to high school. I literally didn't even go to high school. I pretty much did everything online. Like I didn't do like all the prom stuff, like all these like things that people look forward to like in school. Didn't do any of that stuff to literally dedicate my life to going to the NHL. And then when I quit at 18, it was just like, holy cow. Yeah. Like my whole life just came down, and I had no clue what I was going to do in my life. Fortunately for me, I kind of was able to walk into an opportunity of taking over a landscaping company. So that's pretty much what I've been doing for the last couple of years, is just building a business and just constantly looking to better myself and, follow my passions that I wasn't able to when I was playing hockey. So it's kind of crazy though that we all have like very, very similar paths. And now we're back into a similar path of trying to motivate and help all these people, like through our experiences and the guests that we'll be having on this show.
Yeah, we've basically gone through like a similar situation, because we all like stopped playing because of either like an injury or what was your reason?
No, I just quit.
Oh, you just quit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say maybe if it came from an injury or if it came from loss of drive, it all kind of comes to the sole fact that you realize, we're destined for something else. At least in my case, like we're saying, like our whole lives, it's like hockey. Like you talk about missing prom, like I didn't go to high school. It's same, we were both living out in Alaska, and you miss a lot of those cool experiences that everyone else kind of goes through. But when you're chasing a goal and when you're chasing a dream, nothing else really matters. You have those blinders on, you get extreme tunnel vision.
Yep.
And it's good or bad depending on how you look at it, but I really enjoy this new life, and I love every experience I have. Everything happens for a reason.
And you know what? Before we move on, I do want to jump into this a little more, but I do want to bring up a quick point. Is I don't know about you guys, but because of that life that I chose, and like I wanted to go out and make it to the NHL. I had this dream I was so passionate about. Every time I came back home and I saw my friends that I went to middle school with, because you guys all went to middle school here with all your friends. Yeah. I always felt a little bit out of place, and I couldn't really figure out how to fit in anymore. It was weird. Yeah, man. It was just like I couldn't relate. Everyone's talking about these school things, this and that. Yeah. And I just couldn't relate. I don't know about you guys, if you guys went through that same.
I vividly remember, and obviously being in middle school down here, I haven't left yet. I was still living in Florida. Yeah. But I wouldn't say I was living the Florida life or the middle school life or the social life. It was hockey every day. And I vividly remember the Mac Miller Thumbs Up concert. I remember that coming, and everyone in my school talking about him. It was such a big deal. And I had the opportunity to go. And I had to turn it down because I had practice. I think it was a Friday night, and my team had Friday night practices, and I missed that concert. And I don't like to think on the past, but it's one of those things that I regret big time. But you just get caught up chasing what you think is, or what is your dream, or what you think is going to define your happiness is making it to the NHL. And you miss the enjoyment of living life along the way, which is, I think, some things we'll get into on this podcast, and which brought us to be able to understand those things.
Yep. And Matt, what about you?
What
have you experienced? As you guys can tell, we're not very prepared for today, but like, so pretty much like when you came back home, I mean, you said you played rec until you're 15.
Yeah.
But so you were actually able to, is 15 years old high school yet, or is that 16? 15, right?
That would actually
15
was
you
in ninth grade.
14, I think 14 years old. You are a freshman in high school.
I was 16 when I was a freshman. I think it's like
They take you a couple years to get out of middle school.
It took me 1 year. I mean, I was held back a long time ago. But yeah, it's I was never really good at school. Graduated with a 2.2 GPA.
But around that age, I don't know.
Look at us now.
Somewhere around that age. I might have been 13, 14 when I started playing travel, but it was around that age. And,
and because of that, like you following your dream and like going out and doing, training and blah, 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 and literally living away from home. When you came back home, did you find a hard time like fitting in with all the people around you?
Well, for me, like, I was mainly just, I was practicing every day, but I was traveling around Florida. So I was like able to stay at home. I didn't move away until I was like 19, 20.
Yeah.
Because I was playing in Charlotte. So I have a little bit of a different experience compared to you guys, because I know you moved to Alaska. That's nobody lives in Alaska. So
except me and Buffy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
so
always two of
that
them.
must have been an experience. I'd love to ask you about that experience, because like you said, you saw the Northern Lights, right?
Yeah.
One day, like that's like those are like
Profound.
experiences.
Yeah, man.
That even like with hockey, like it's taking you to a different place. Yeah. Like you're living, let's say, you may not like be living a high school life per se, but you're living another life, and it might be like a better life for you.
Which
and
is
you're getting
true.
different experiences in that nature.
Yeah.
In that aspect.
And I love that you bring that up, because it is all perception and how you're going to look at things. So even in that conversation, we were both almost closed-minded to our old scenarios, but I'm glad you did bring that up, because everything does happen for a reason, and there is always a different way and a different view on what's going on in your reality. So yeah, like I would say to that point, I left at 15 years old, and I had to move away from my family and everything. And at the time, sorry, Mom, but I was super excited to leave. I was really happy. But those are things that I missed, was my family. And towards the end of my career, those are things that kind of led me to come back home was, man, I'm living this quote unquote professional life and grinding every day, and it's everything I ever wanted. But now I'm miserable because I don't see my family. I don't see the sun. You start to look at things. You can look at anything differently, but I wouldn't change anything that I went through. But I hope that through what we're saying here, it can help other people maybe learn certain things without having to go through them. Because that's one thing I think I did, was listen to people when they told me things. Yeah. Because people like you see here's three guys that gone through pretty much the same thing. And I'm sure at the time when we were going through those things, we thought we were alone. So it's cool to know you got a support group, you got people to listen to, and you got a lot of other people in the same boat as you. Yeah. And I just gotta preface this is not a hockey podcast. We just all seem to have had the same journey, and it's something that we could talk about. But I did want to kind of jump in now that we brought it up, like your story on the way out, because I know you had a rough one. Yeah, definitely. I had a rough one, and I kind of know we were friends when you left hockey. Yeah. So do any of you guys want to start us off? Like,
well, I know my situation's kind of similar to Buffy's.
Yeah.
Because you got hurt, right? So tell me a little bit about yours.
So for me,
and how did it affect you?
Well, obviously I was living away from home at the time, and it was like right around the time during Thanksgiving. So luckily I was able to come back home and have all the doctors check me out and everything. But
which we actually even, I remember you coming up to me and me and Alex being like, bro, you did not break anything. This man's walking around like completely fine. And we're like, dude,
I think I was able to run at some point too. But like in straight lines. But they were literally like, yeah, dude, you're being such a little kid, basically, like
a bitch.
Yeah. I didn't know if we were able to say that. But
cursing on this podcast.
But yeah, they were just calling me out. I'm like, bro, I think like it's messed up. I've never had an injury. That was like the first injury I've ever had in my career, and that was like the worst, obviously, because I had to get surgery from it. Yep. But that was like a big like wake up call for me in my career, I guess. And it was just like a bad experience for me, because it was my last year, and like even if I didn't get that injury, it would probably still be my last year of juniors. So it was just like a bad like time for me to like have it. But
yeah.
what was
I remember and I also remember when you were going through this is that we actually had a conversation, and I remember we kind of like, because I remember you came to me and we kind of like broke it down, like, okay, like what are like the pros of going back to hockey and what are the cons of like leaving it, and like what's the possibilities of like life after hockey. I don't know if you remember that conversation.
Yeah, I do. And I was going through like the scenarios in my head. I was thinking like, should I keep playing? Because I could have played. I could have played. I had one Division III offer to play in Concordia University in Wisconsin.
Oh, nice.
But but I wasn't sure like if I really wanted to go down that route. And even if I did play, didn't know if I'd be getting a lot of play time. Didn't know if I would be able to make the next step and play professionally, let's say after it. A lot of people that play college hockey, they don't go and play professional after.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a like big thing for me to like go over there, and I wasn't sure. I already have been to college, so I wasn't sure if I wanted to go back to college. So it was just like I was going through these scenarios in my head, and I just wasn't sure like what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take this time, like after my career, I took some time off, and it was during quarantine and everything else, just to reflect on my life. And I'm still not sure like where I'm headed and where I'm going, but at least I am in more of a like path, a direct path now, I guess, because I haven't gone back to college. If I want to go back to college, I could always go back to college, you know?
Yeah.
So right now I'm just like feeling it out, just playing.
You're just doing, you're just living, man.
Yeah.
Like, I think people get caught up on chasing the dreams, and what a crazy story. I can relate very similarly to. But yeah, I mean, keep enjoying living this life. Like, I'll never forget this feeling of like, I don't know how to explain it, but when I stopped playing on my way home, I was actually traveling home with Nico.
Yep. Yeah, you guys went to New York and all that, right?
Yeah, it was an amazing. It was like a career-ending road trip.
Yeah.
Like, we did a road trip home from Canada. It was crazy, but probably at one of my lowest lows right there, I felt just such a sense of peacefulness, something I hadn't felt in my whole entire life. And it was the fact that I stopped caring about trying to make the NHL, and like that being the only thing I was here for, to literally just like breathing in that fresh air and just like, wow, like I'm here, like I'm just on this, like I'm just here, I'm playing the game, like I'm alive. And I just felt so happy and like okay with just being alive, that all that other stuff kind of went away. And I don't want to say I stopped trying or stopped worrying, but I did. I stopped worrying about where I'm going to be in the future, or what's happening or what happened, to just literally living my life and doing what made me happy. And not in a bad way, still in a successful mindset way. But rather than chasing that goal to define me, I just said like, here's my goal, and now I'm just going to enjoy living my life.
Yep.
I don't know. It's like you said, we're still learning. It's everything we're saying it's not like preaching. It's just us going through our own scenarios and talking about it. But
yeah, exactly.
We're still on our own journey, and we're still learning. I'm still right here with you. You know, like I don't think any of us have the answers, but we're learning, and I think we're on our way up. With
I think now. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think now like we're taking the time to actually experience things that we haven't been able to experience before.
Yeah.
Because like you guys said, you didn't go to prom, you didn't do any of that stuff. I didn't do that either, because I was focused on my goal and my dream. But now I think we're taking the time to actually do small things like that, or do like just things in general that we haven't done before.
Yeah.
Seriously. Just enjoy. Literally, like I got lunch with my mom the other day, and like that was one thing. Like when I moved away, I never, like, I saw my mom maybe once or twice a year, and like I was always like, man, when I get home, like I'm just gonna go get lunch with my mom once a week. And like now when I do that, it's just like brings me, like I almost get goosebumps talking about it, because it's something that like I think a lot of people would be like, we eat lunch with my parents every day or whatever. But if you don't do that until you get to do it, and you frequently are doing it, you just gotta look at life and enjoy what you're doing, and not worry about so much of the other stuff, I think.
Yeah. And for me, when I quit my career, it was like, and this is like, I feel like one good quality that I have is that I'm very quick to move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like especially with like what's going on in this world, my biggest thing is that I feel like a lot of these kids that are depressed and a lot of these kids that don't know what they want to do with their lives, it's because they don't have a purpose. Yeah. So when I quit hockey, which again, like we've prefaced over and over and over again, was my dream. Like literally, I remember when I was a little kid, like writing in a notebook saying, I will be in the NHL one day.
Oh man, yeah.
And it's just like that whole dream, like that whole like me giving my life for this, like all gone, like over, like, and I'm heading home and I'm just like, I can't believe, like, yes, a weight was lifted off my shoulders where I was like, you know, I don't really have to try so hard for a dream now.
Yeah.
But it was like at the same time, like, what the hell am I going to do with my
lost.
life? I'm like, yeah, man. Like I was known as the hockey player when I came home.
Yeah.
I was like, I literally, my image was like the guy that I remember sitting in conversations with like people being like, man, CJ, I can't wait for you to go to the NHL. Now I'm coming home and I'm like, well, guess what? I actually quit. I didn't make it very far. I mean, I made it very, I made it pretty
a
far.
lot farther than
but
a
like,
lot of people.
I'm just saying, like, it was like, you guys know what I mean,
dude.
Like,
I'm like, I'm getting goosebumps again over here because I didn't even think about that, but I remember that, like, family, friends, like everyone like telling their friends, like, dude, you're the kid. I tell everyone, this kid's gonna make the NHL. I'm gonna ride off him, and you know, like that ego builds up, and you're like, I can't quit. Like, I got all these people counting on me. I got all these people. It's like, man, you're driving yourself crazy because you're living a life for someone else.
Yep.
I think that's what it comes to. That's the realization I came to, was like, if the only reason I'm still playing at this time is because people want me to, and it's making other people happy. And I would say to that point, like, stop living your life to please everyone else, and man, just like enjoy your life.
Yeah, exactly.
You got one of them, or until you're reincarnated or whatever you believe in, but you got one of them in this moment to live. And like, if you're wasting it trying to make other people impressed or thinking that whatever you do, other people are going to care about that much, like, we're all in a sense living our lives to the fullest. So live yours. Enjoy your life.
Exactly. And that leads on, probably a good point to get to is your question. That one question you're going to ask every single episode.
Oh, we'll get right into it then. Yeah. All right, after all the rambling on, let's get to the questions here.
Yep.
So as you know, everything we're talking about obviously is where our background is in hockey and sports. But we do have a lot of unique characteristics that we've learned about ourselves that we've been able to make a really cool, better than sports, like maybe not a living, but new passions through us, and everything. And the whole gist of this little podcast is really to see like how people are getting successful and what they're doing to maintain that success. Which leads me to my first question, and this is, how would you guys define success?
You want to take us off?
Let's hear it, Matt.
I guess so. So for me, like, I think like your first question, because you've asked this before, wasn't it like a materialistic thing?
Well, I mean, that's totally up to you.
Or it's my opinion.
I'm just curious to know. Obviously, this isn't our first time ever talking, but we've talked about it before. But for everyone listening, I would just like to know, since that is the gist of the podcast, success and happiness, like, how would you guys...
Yeah, if you want to take it off.
What would be your definition of success, like, to you,
So,
CJ?
I'm not going to lie, and I'll be very vulnerable. At one point in my life, I'm not going to lie, materialistic things did define my success.
Okay.
You know, I've come from, like someone like my dad, like growing up with someone like my dad.
Yeah.
He was very materialistic driven.
Yeah.
Like, he had the Lambos, he had the Bentley, he had the $1 million homes, not even just one home.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, I eventually want to get into a little bit of his story, but
Definitely.
he was left at the end with pretty much nothing. My dad passed away in 2018, and he had, you know, he didn't have much to show for it after living that life. And, you know, the last year of his life, he turned it around a lot, and he was, you know, starting to really appreciate the things that mattered. But to kind of take that aside really quick, is that I got that from my dad. So like, pretty much like, when I was like, you know, when I was a little bit younger, maybe, I mean, just like even like a year to 2 years ago, like, my mind is like, when I get that Lambo, when I get that mansion, when I get, you know, all these materialistic things. And it really got me to a point where like, I wasn't even confident enough in myself to like even feel like I needed a girl because of that. Like, I didn't feel like I could get a girl for me.
Until you had that.
I had all that stuff.
Yeah.
So like, all this success in my life wouldn't really mean anything until I was able to be that man where people saw me and were like, damn, how did he get those things?
Yeah.
But I actually went to a Tony Robbins event. I don't know if you guys remember this or I've ever told you, but
I don't think I heard about it.
Yeah, so in 2018, I went to a Tony Robbins event. It was the Business Mastery.
Shout out Tony Robbins.
Shout out Tony Robbins. And bro, the event was great, but the main thing was it changed my perspective on everything, man. And it got me to a place where I was like, you know what? Like, because I looked at my hockey career as a failure. You know, I made it far, and like, yes, we won a Robbins Cup, but I didn't play in the game. It was, but like, you know, I got to remember, like, you know what? Like, after that event, I took a step back and was like, you know, much stuff that I got to learn, how much the world I got to see, like all these different things I got to experience that all
travel,
my buddies, all my buddies back at home didn't.
Yeah.
Like that's like, you know, maybe like that's a successful career. That's a successful life as of so far. Like I was living life.
Yeah.
So like, you know, through all these journeys and all these different things, my, you know, mindset of success has changed a lot. And I feel like, you know what, it still might not be at an extremely healthy place, but I understand that. But so I think now what I would consider success is every time I set a goal and like achieving that goal. Yeah. But not materialistic things, just personal things for myself. I don't care what anyone else thinks. It's things that I set for myself, you know, things that, you know, will make me happy. And I know, like, so this podcast, like, you know, my goal for this podcast, yes, I'd like to get 100,000 subscribers, all that, blah, 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 blah.
Subscribe down below.
Yes, subscribe down below. Hey, good shout out. But at the end of the day, if I get one comment from one person letting me know that we helped change their life, or change their journey, or change their path, that is going to make me be like, damn, this was successful.
I love it.
That's what I want from this.
I love it.
So like now my aspects, my things have changed, and it's not really relying on other people very much. I know that kind of does a bit, but it's like my goals have to do with helping the world.
Yeah.
So that's where I think I define my like success is like achieving those little goals that I have
definitely
along the way.
I love that. I love that. And I think you actually kind of, to my point, when you said defining the mindset of success, I would really personally say like that's kind of what it is. Like success is really just, in a sense, your mindset. So if it's that materialistic values that you're after or whatever it is, you can be successful in any realm as long as you change your mindset to define success. Because everything is just your perception on reality. Anything you're going through, however you want to perceive it, is how it's going to be real. So I would say defining those little accomplishments and going through life is a great way to define success. And if you are someone who's chasing those materialistic things, because that is something that I've kind of been trying to struggle with understanding, because
understanding like how people make those.
No, not so much that. It's more or less like the majority of me wants to live my life in this peaceful moment and just like this real realm of like, you don't need anything to be happy. You can be happy with whatever you're doing. But the other side of me completely understands like how you need money and how you need those materialistic things to live in this materialistic world that is here and that is now.
Yeah.
So I've been really struggling to understand the contradiction between these two of living. And that's why I found this medium of like defining my success off my mindset.
Yep.
So I want to strive for those giant goals. I want that $1 billion house. Yep. I want 10 Teslas and I want to give 9 of them away to people. And I want to be able to do all those things, but that's not why I'm living. That's not why I'm playing this game.
Yep.
I'm playing this game because I enjoy every day and everything that I do. And those end goals, that's what you get at the end of the game. But the funny thing is, when you get those, it's just the beginning of the next game. It doesn't define your happiness. Just because you get a new car or you get a new place or whatever you get, that shouldn't be your happiness. You shouldn't do what you do just to get somewhere and think that you're going to be happy when you get there.
Yep.
Because I would say once you get there, you're right at square one again. And if you keep trying to define your happiness off of your successes and your successes are materialistic, I think that's when you find those really, really wealthy people that are just miserable with their lives.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's always going to be somebody that has more money than you.
Yeah.
Always.
So, I mean, for me, I'd say materialistic things are a good way to help motivate you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I know like you get very motivated off that, like off materialistic stuff, because you like to pay it off, and it helps you like set a goal and things like that. But I think that's a good way to like live, like to take care of that aspect. For me, I definitely want to have enough money where I could just live my life and do the things that I want to do, and not have to worry about like certain things. If I could afford something, I just want to be able to do it and not have to worry about that. I think that's like the best way, in my opinion, to live, because then you could literally just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But like for me, I think that I'm half and half on like if materialistic things like and not define like if it's a success or a failure, but I think that for me, I'd say like I'm 50-50 on that, because I kind of want materialistic things to define my success, but I also like just like living in the moment, and just like, for instance, like the podcast, like that could be a thing of success in the future. Like even with 10,000 subscribers in the future, like I think that'll be like a good like success for us, you know what I mean? So it could go both ways. I think it all comes down to your mindset, and mindset is like the biggest thing for me. I really like believe in like a strong mindset. If you have a strong mindset, like you can accomplish anything.
Yeah. And I feel like what you mentioned, Buffy, it's really hard to separate those things. Like it's so hard, like in this world filled with materialistic things and greed, to like separate, you know, especially that success as materialistic things. Because even even to this day, I still find myself like falling into this like success equals like materialistic things equal success.
Yeah, I think it's like just the way we're brought up, like as American people. Like I think that's just the way like our country is. Yeah, it's just like how we're run.
Yeah. And I mean, I wouldn't argue against any of those points at all. All I would say, and like I said, this is something that I've really been trying to understand, and something that I don't have the answers to now, or any of us do. I don't think anyone has the answers to any of these questions. They're all relative to your own opinion and perspective. But what I've been trying to tell myself in like the mix of things is just like set those goals, set those giant, big accomplishment goals.
Yep.
And then just enjoy the ride along the way.
Yep.
And don't let your happiness be based off those goals. Let your happiness be based off playing the game. And I say playing the game of life. Like enjoy. If you're not happy in what you're doing and you're successful in the materialistic realm, I don't want to tell you to like stop what you're doing, but you're probably going to come to the realization one day that just because you're financially stable and you hate your life, it's not going to make you happy.
Yeah,
so
for me,
set those goals and do those things for the right reasons. You can want to be super well off and super, super rich. Like who doesn't? But don't want to be rich just because you're rich. Like want to be rich because you love what you're doing and it made you rich.
Yep. Yeah. For me, I'd say like, I think I'd rather have like a strong relationship with people and like a good connection with people, and just good friends in general than have like the materialistic things. I think that's what we're like meant to do, like on this earth. We're supposed to build connections and just live and just live our best lives with the people around us, because
definitely
like that's just, in my like opinion, I think that's like the way to live your life.
Yep.
I love that.
Yep. So going into oh boy, I had it in my mind, it just slipped away. It just slipped away. But I do want to talk about how you guys manifest like these goals that you have in mind. For me, when I wake up in the morning, after I do my whole cold shower and the meditation thing, and I actually started listening, I increased my time from 5 minutes. Oh shit,
we haven't even. Well, hey, no, let's get into it. Do you want to talk about cold showers?
Go ahead, take us for a rip. Take us for a rip.
I mean, all right.
I haven't done a cold shower yet.
Well, here,
so go ahead. Yeah, take us for a rip. Take us. Let us know.
Tell us about like,
because you're the one that's been taking cold showers.
Yeah.
So, tell us
about the benefits and like what you've heard about
why you think we should do it.
Why you think we should get into them.
Okay. All right, let's jump back into this. All right, guys. So talking about like mindset and mindset being a basis or a way you can kind of set your success. And I would say a mindset is, in my opinion, the key to life. Like conquering your own mind is conquering yourself, and you're not against the world or against anyone else. You're solely here playing against yourself, or with playing with yourself. Yeah, awesome. That came out great online.
I play myself every day.
But talk about mindset and conquering your mind. One thing that I found to work very well for me, and I recommend all people to try this, and I talk about cold showers. And the benefits of actually being in a cold shower, an ice bath, or being in something that's uncomfortable and becoming comfortable with that uncomfortable feeling, and the basis of conquering your mind. And I say I would recommend anyone listening to this right now. I know no one is probably going to do this, but if you are listening and you want to be one of those people to take the first step in the right way, go take a cold shower. Go put your shower on freezing cold, the coldest setting, and get in it. And no matter what your body is telling you, and no matter what it's saying, get out, like you've done enough, you did 2 seconds, you did 2 minutes, you're good. Go set a timer for 3 minutes and stand in your shower. Or pick a song that you love that's about 3 to 5 minutes long and go stand in that cold shower. And I will almost guarantee, for those of you who try this, when you get out, you will feel almost your best self as soon as it's over. As soon as that water goes off, you're going to be shivering, and you're going to feel such a sense of accomplishment and success because you conquered your mind. And there's a ton of benefits that we can get into for cold showers, but the biggest one I find is conquering your mind. And that's what life is conquering your mind in any situation. Change your perspective on what's going on and ride the wave. You understand what life gave you. It gave you that cold shower. There's literally nothing you can do to change it besides turn it hot, but let's pretend that's not an option. So there's nothing you can do to change that reality that you're in except how you're viewing it. So instead of viewing this as a punishment of a cold shower, and it's going to suck. That little voice in your head is going to tell you that this sucks, but you have to beat that voice. You have to beat that voice and say, you know what? This is cold. This is where I'm at. What can I enjoy here? The good song, the benefits. You'll find things. And soon enough, you'll start to crave these cold showers. At least that's what's happened to me. And it's really changed my kind of life. I've been doing it for like a week now. I used to do it a ton, but I'm getting into a routine of doing only cold showers. 2 a day. I have not taken a warm shower. And I don't know if I ever will again. I do miss them every single time I get into the bathroom. I tell myself, let's go take a nice warm steamy shower. Oh my God. But I don't let that voice talk me into it. And I've been doing this every day, and throughout my days now when I'm not in that shower, no matter what life is throwing at me, I'm trying to use that mindset, and I've really been noticing some amazing benefits.
Okay, so really quick, we're gonna make sure link will be in the description for the people that are watching, and I'm gonna say it out loud. Go check us out at The Boothe on Instagram, TheBoothe, and we will be posting because I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go ahead.
We're all going to be doing this.
Let's make a little montage, something. We'll post a nice little video for you guys for us trying it out and taking these cold showers, so you see that we practice what we preach here.
Exactly.
And then hopefully you guys can join us along.
Exactly, guys. Everything that we are saying or preaching, in a sense, we're not saying these things because we're trying to claim that we have the keys to everyone's success and happiness. We are here giving you insight on the way us three live our lives and how we've been noticing benefits and changing things around. Not to say that we're not still works in progress, but now you guys are here along for the ride.
Exactly.
And I think it's going to be awesome. This is a community. This isn't something that we need to be idolized over. We're not looking for fans. We're here to be a community with you guys. Come follow us on Snapchat. Come follow us on Instagram, and just come be active in our lives. And building that surrounding with like-minded people who want to achieve the similar goals, you're really going to start to notice some benefits in just your well-being, just surrounding yourself with the right people. So if you don't have those people to be surrounded with in your day-to-day life, follow us on Instagram and you'll be surrounded by us. Like
exactly.
You'll be right in our world with us.
I like that.
And I do want to mention something really quick about that. So I love that, and I definitely going to do that.
Yes.
And I find myself another way of like achieving that. It's pretty much just like when that something comes up where your body's telling you, I don't want to do this right now. Yeah. It's conquering that feeling. So another thing I like to do is make my bed every morning. And it's something so simple and something so easy, but people will look at that and be like, I'm going to get back in this tonight. Like, I don't really need to do that. But like when you just, it's such stupid little things, and you think it might not make a big difference in your life, but it's these small little things that build your character.
Yes.
And like when you sit there and you're like, I don't want to do this, and then you end up doing it anyways, the next time you have something important to do, or like you have something in your life that needs to get done, you'll be more likely to be like, okay, let me just get this done. Yeah. Let me get this over with. And like I can go on my day.
Yeah. Well,
and it's a little accomplishment.
You make your bed every day and take it.
I have to. I'm sleeping on the couch right now.
Yeah, so. This is CJ's old bedroom that we're sitting in right now. So. Talk about passion, man. Got rid of his bed. So.
Bed was right here, right where we're sitting right now.
To that point about making your bed and doing those things that you maybe don't want to do, I love that. I make my bed every morning as well. When I was a kid, I used to same thing to my parents. I'm gonna sleep. I don't tie my shoes when I take them off. I'm gonna get back in my bed. I'm gonna put my shoes back on. Why make it? Who's coming in my room? Who cares? But that's the thing. It doesn't matter who cares. You care. You should care how you present yourself, how you carry yourself, how you define yourself. Doing those little things that you don't want to do, making your bed, it just helps your future self. And it's one of these things that in my career, I came up with this realization. It was like this act now mentality. Act now. It's as simple as that. Like you have to live and you have to utilize every second of the day.
Yep.
And I don't say that to you like you have to. I'm telling you, you have to. I say that as like, no matter what you do, you're using these seconds, these minutes. So you can make your bed and take 10 seconds and do it, and then you can go do your own day. Or you can not make your bed, and you can sit there on your phone and do whatever you're doing. But your bed's still going to be there. You're still going to have to do something with it, and you're still wasting time doing nothing.
Yep.
So use those minutes or those seconds to your advantage, and use them as that act now mentality, and live your life like that, because your future self will just continue to thank you. There's so many times where I find myself just like, damn, past Justin, like you're amazing.
Yeah.
Because like the cold showers last week, I was like contemplating it. Like, should I start it? I don't know. Like, I want to take them every month, but this is day 1. Like, that's day 30 is so far away. Like, how would I just start now? Like, and I'm getting worried thinking about everything. And it was like, I just jumped in my first cold shower, and that's all I cared about was taking that first one. And now here I am on like my 14th cold shower or whatever, day 7, and you don't even realize like just doing this stuff. I'm just thanking myself. Like if I didn't start last week, I would have had to start this week.
Yep.
You would have to start at some point. So if you're scared to start anything, if you start it right now, even this most simplest thing of like, if you have to write a paper and you just go write that first word right now, I promise you, your future self's going to thank yourself, your past self for just starting. Because if not, you have to do it at some point. And it's you who has to do it. So you're just burdening yourself by not doing these things in the moment and not acting now on what you have to do.
Yeah, when I was living in North Carolina, my coach, he'd make us send pictures of our bed every morning, make sure that we made it.
Nice, a little boot camp.
Yeah, so shout out Coach Trevor.
Shout out.
But so I mean, if you guys want to do that, like just to hold each other accountable every morning, like we could do that as well, like with the showers. It's up to you guys, obviously.
I love it. You might get some pictures of my girlfriend still asleep in the bed. I'll make it right over you. You hear that, Kayla? You might have to wake up early now. Get more active.
All right, well, maybe that's not a good idea.
I like the cold showers. The cold shower, we'll do that.
Showers,
we'll have a little thing, and we'll post it on the Instagram like we said.
Yeah.
And that's actually a good point, because that's going to lead into I want to mention it now really quick, is that we're going to be posting on our audio only a 0.5 version of the episode. So like after the first episode, there'll be a 1.5 episode that will just be like a quick like little not very long episode, just pretty much talking about certain things that each of us want to bring points up and like kind of describe to you guys, and kind of let you know about what we're trying, or like something that can maybe benefit you in your lives or motivate you, a bunch of different things. And the first one's going to pretty much be about taking that first step.
Definitely.
So it's like us three right here, like we never did a podcast before. Nope. Like we've never done anything like this. But you can't let that stop you from, taking that first step into whatever you want to do. Because like he said, at some point, if you want to make it, if you want to become, if you have this dream or whatever you like decide in your life, you have to take that first step. We'll get more into that in, 1.5, that episode. But
that's going to be a really good one. And all those little mini podcasts are going to pretty much be one topic, and we'll get a pretty more in depth with those topics. If it's a cold shower, if it's taking the first step, you guys aren't going to want to miss those. Hopefully we should be getting those out every Monday. I think we're going to try to do
6 a.m.
Start your week off with just a little bit of like mental growth or stimulate, like your brain's a muscle. So listening to this stuff is just like working out in a sense. You got to build your mind. Don't forget that. So definitely check those out, and we're going to be happy to be here along the ride with everyone.
Yes. So you guys got anything?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
It's on my phone.
Whip it out.
Let me get it out.
Whip it out.
Whip it out.
I hope you're watching the video, everyone.
Whip it out.
So I wanted to ask you guys about like your hockey careers. Is there anything that you guys like would change, like regarding like the path that you took, or like anything in general?
So I wouldn't change anything for myself, but if I had to maybe guide somebody, then there's something I would. And so I am very thankful for everything that's happened to me in my career, and I think it led up to become who I am, and the lessons that I've learned I'm able to take and now like to give to other people. So that's like the biggest thing. I wouldn't change anything, because all those lessons that now I can go out and preach and teach to all these other people out there. But that brings me to what I would tell people, and I feel like this is what made my career burn out so quickly for myself, was that I was always in a rush to be the best. And like I remember, I worked with the goalie coach of the Florida Panthers, Rob Tallis. Shout out Rob Tallis. And he would always tell me. I remember the first year when I moved to Toronto with Nico and my cousin Kyle, and we went up there, and he was telling me, he was like don't do that. Like just like come back here, play. I think it was like U16 in the States. Like just kind of take it easy, like blah blah. Oh no, sorry, this was my last year in Toronto. He loved that I was going to Toronto. My bad. It was that end of the season when I found out that I was going to maybe go play U18 over in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. So he was ripping me for that. He was like, don't go play U18, like just play U16, like keep playing U16 until you can't play U16, and then you'll move your way up to U18, play your U18 AAA, and then blah blah blah. Take your time. He's like, goaltenders are not supposed to be to the NHL by 18. Like they're not.
And how old
like,
were you at the time when you were
15? So
for U18?
No, 16 for U18. But I was the third goaltender for the NAL team, the Sioux Eagles.
Yeah, you were the youngest in the league. Right?
Yeah, so I was literally just like practicing 24/7, like working with all these like older kids and this and that. And it was just like on to the next. Like I got drafted in NAL, went to the NAL, like blah blah blah. It was like luckily I had a OHL contract in front of me, and my parents were like, "Let's not do this right now." And I was like, "Okay." Like I was with Fairbanks. It was the middle of the season, and I was like, "We're a really good team. Like we're probably gonna win this thing." So I was like, "You know what? Like I'm just gonna set that aside." And luckily, I was slow myself. I kind of wish that's like another one. I wish I would have just signed it because I would be on the NHL game. But
that'd be sick.
But it was just like always on to the next thing. And I never got to take a second, like we've been talking about this whole episode, to just kind of take everything in and enjoying the ride. Yeah. It was always like I wasn't going to be happy with my career until I made it to the NHL. And it's like I never got to really take it in. Like the fact that I was living in Sioux, Michigan.
Yeah.
The fact that I was living in Alaska. I did have my moments, but like that whole journey, I felt like it was so quick. Yeah. Everything flew by for me.
Yeah. I think you get athletes, and I say that from my experience, we get caught up in that end goal, and that was one of the biggest things that I found looking back on my career was like I'm disappointed in my past self for not enjoying every moment I was playing.
Yep.
And being caught up in that, oh, this guy's here, this guy's here. I was constantly comparing myself to where other people were. And even though I could have compared myself to people below me and been like, oh, I'm at the top, I was always never satisfied because I was never in that NHL, in the NHL or anything like that. But you get caught up because my whole dream before the NHL was to make the USHL.
Yep.
And before that, I wanted to make the NAHL. And before that, I wanted to leave Florida. And I accomplished all of those things, but I was never, ever satisfied in that moment. And that drive, I think that brings us back to the first question of success and your happiness being based off a materialistic thing. And you get caught up in not enjoying what you're doing and playing the game.
Yep.
But to your original question, Matt, how would I wouldn't change anything in my past because I'm a huge believer in everything happens for a reason. And if I was to say now that I would change something, I probably wouldn't. If I changed that, I probably wouldn't feel the way and live the way I live now. But like CJ said, if I can help someone who is listening and give them some feedback, I would firstly say focus on yourself.
Yep.
It does not matter where anyone else is in hockey, in any sport, in life in general. You are not playing against anyone else. You're just focused on yourself. Secondly, I would say to that point, listen to people. Listen to people who say they've been in your shoes and try to relate to you. Don't think you're so special and entitled to be the first person to ever go through something. There's probably a lot of people who have some knowledge that can help you. And even if you don't think their knowledge can help you, then listen to it, soak it up, and do something else.
Yep.
But you can learn from other people. You don't have to solely learn off your own mistakes. That's something I wish I listened to a lot of people.
I agree with
another
that.
thing I would say is to live in that moment, like you were saying. Like, you have to be enjoying what you're doing. And if you're not, like, if you want to be in the NHL, but you're miserable playing in any hockey league and you're miserable waking up to go to practice, like, what makes you think you're going to be happy in the NHL? Like, you got to enjoy what you do, which brings me to my last point is have fun. Have fun in anything you're doing. And if you're not, it might not be what you should be doing. If you don't enjoy a little bit deep down what you have in life, you may want to look into changing your life around, because that's all it is. We're here. The purpose, I would say, is to gain knowledge, better ourselves, but have fun, because at the end of the day, it's all going to end. And if you're not enjoying it, like, who cares how rich you are? Like,
yeah, exactly.
If you're miserable, you're not taking that stuff with you.
Exactly. It's not going to, like, make a difference. You're going to go down in your grave, and you're not going to go down for having the most money. It's just you're going down with being the person that you are, just in a sense. And
enjoy your life.
Going back to what you were saying about how, like, when you were playing hockey at, like, a certain level, and you what happened? Oh, okay. And you, like, you were never satisfied.
The grass is always greener. You get.
But I think that even if, like, you played in the NHL, you'd never be satisfied.
Exactly.
Because, like, you're always trying to be the best, like, version of yourself, best player, like, trying to take that next step. Maybe you're not the best player on the team. You want to be the best player on the team. And then after that, maybe you want to be, like, the best player in the league or something like that. You're never going to be satisfied no matter, like, where you are.
That's spot on. And that's why I would say not to define your happiness or your successes off of your accomplishments of, like, those end goals. Because just like you said, if your goal is to make the NHL, if your goal is to make $1 million, once you reach that goal, you're
gonna need another goal.
Like, if you want to be a millionaire, I would almost guarantee once you become a millionaire, you're gonna want to be more than a millionaire.
Yep. And
you're not gonna be happy being a millionaire anymore, because all your new friends and all those new things you want are going to be worth more money. And if you can want to that point, I want to be a millionaire, but I'm not going to let that define me. If I never become a millionaire, I'm still going to be the happy kid that you see here. But that's because I enjoy what I do. I enjoy living my life. And I hope that maybe my enjoyment in what I do every day brings me success in the financial realm, but I won't let that define me, but I'll still stay driven to get it. It's just I don't want to lose sight. And it's that mindset. You have the intention to help people and be a good person and live your life and enjoy what you're doing. And I think that financial success will come. Obviously, you're going to have to work and drive for those things you like to do. It's not all going to be sunshine and rainbows. You're going to have to perceive things differently and fight through them. But at the end of the day, you should really enjoy every second of your day for the most part. And when you're successful financially, you should still be living that same life. I wouldn't change who you are for that financial background or whatever you want to call it.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And I have one more like question to add on to that question if we
Go
got time. I wanted to say, like, are you guys happy like with the way that your careers turned out?
Yeah, I'm very happy.
Like, okay.
Very happy.
Yeah. The me now. Yeah. I mean, I think I reached a lot of those goals that I wanted to when I was a kid. Like I said, like I got to play in some really, really cool leagues, and I got to play for some amazing teams and play with some people who are very, very successful in hockey world right now. That is really cool to be my claim to fame, to say like I grew up with that kid, or whatever, you know, I was roommates, like whatever you want to say. So the little Justin that I could sit down and talk to, I think he would be very happy. But that same kid, he wanted to be in the NHL.
Yep.
So if he was talking right now, I don't think he has the mind capability to understand there's bigger things for us. But from my sense, yeah, I am very happy with my career, and I really do think everything happens for a reason. So the connections, the friendships I've made, the ability to do this podcast was in a sole base off of me playing hockey. I would have never met CJ. I would have never met you. So I'm super satisfied with my career. But of course, as that young kid, I would have loved to be able to make the NHL or do those things, but I'm not going to let that define my happiness.
Yeah. And like I said, it's all down to perspective.
Exactly.
You know? So like you guys met like a lot of people, and you like played at a very high level. You played you played with a lot of people that are playing in the NHL right now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So like you've like had experiences like that.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
I think we're going to wrap it up here, boys.
All
So,
right.
we're going to actually, instead of writing up our goals right now, if you guys want to see us write up our goals, go check out the Instagram.
Yes, sir.
All right, at The Boothe. TheBoothe. There's going to be a lot of stuff on that page. We'll be sure to, we're going to do some inspirational stuff. Like, it's going to be a great page. So, and I want to mention that we are going to also, if you're watching YouTube or anything like that, comment in the comment section. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be picking, 1 to 2, because we don't want to flood the wall right away. Maybe like 1 to 2 comments. I mean, you guys let us know what your dreams are, and we're going to put it up on this board, all right? Don't be afraid to get it out there. Let the whole world know what you got going on, what you want. And we're going to make sure to write it up on this wall right behind me. So, any last points you guys got before I shut this door?
Yeah, I would say final point for me, just to end things off, is I'm not trying to be here to say that, like I said, I don't think I have all the knowledge in the world. I'm very, very novice in all of this. I think we all are. But listening to people and just kind of soaking stuff up will help you grow. So if you took anything from what I had to say or what we had to say today, I hope it was that you just enjoy what you're doing and you're having fun with your life, and just live in that moment and don't get caught up on that end goal. Totally okay to have it, but please, please, please today, just try to enjoy the ride and perceive things in a different way. Try not to get frustrated or mad, and just understand that things happen and that's how it is. And it is what it is.
It is what it is. Matt, you got anything?
Yeah, just like live in the moment, and just live every day, like one day at a time.
Yeah.
Because I was like looking at this Instagram post, and it was like, if you are, I don't even remember exactly what it was. It was like, it had 3 different words, and if you're like in the moment, like you're like content with like the way that you're living.
If you're in the moment, so for most part, I don't know the Instagram, but
yeah,
I would say
exactly what it was,
the phrase or the way of being, if you're feeling anxious right now, you're most likely focused on something in the future that hasn't happened yet. If you're feeling depressed, you're probably still concerned about what's going on from your past.
Yeah,
but if you're going to be truly happy, you're going to be living in the moment. And the moment's going to change with every single breath you take. And in a sense, you have a blank canvas with every breath you take. So don't let those past moments define who you are right now. And don't worry about what's going to happen in the future because it has not happened yet. And anything you manifest and you want to have anxiety about what's going to happen in the future, you're just manifesting it to happen. You know, just live in the now.
Boom.
That's that. Yeah.
There we go. Make sure to like and subscribe wherever you're listening or watching. We have a very special guest coming on for episode 2.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure to tune in on that one. And so
I have a question before we go. Sorry to cut you off. Do you want us to? Are we gonna put our?
We're gonna do that after. We're gonna do the Instagram thing.
No, like the people that we like want on the podcast as well.
Oh my gosh, I almost forgot about that. Yes, who's your dream? Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to mention that.
I wasn't sure if we were gonna do that on.
We want to put this out here on the first episode. So actually, before we shut it, who is your dream guest?
For me, I think it would be like Cole Bennett.
Cole Bennett,
because like his mindset, like. Him owning a company from like a young or starting his own company from a young age, and just like following his dream and following his passion. I'd love to hear like a little bit about like that aspect of his life.
Yeah.
So.
No, yeah, that would be a cool person to have. What about you, Buff? Who's yours?
I mean, I think one of you were gonna say Elon Musk. I think that's an amazing guy to have. Who would not want to talk to him? But I don't know if my dream guest has been presented to me yet.
Okay.
I don't think I can name one. There's a lot of successful people that I've seen in the materialistic realm and a lot of successful mentally successful people in the spiritual realm. But I'm still looking for that person to present themselves. Maybe they come to us through Instagram. Maybe I see them one day and I just hear someone who's very knowledgeable. But I am looking for a guru. I am looking for like a Buddhist monk, someone who has some very spiritual enlightenment kind of philosophy stuff would be my dream. Yeah, my dream guest. Someone that I can pick their brain for 10 episodes on.
All right,
and maybe get some answers and enlightenment.
Bet. And then my dream guest is actually Logan Paul. That's my dream guest on this podcast. I think he went through crazy things, and you know, everyone pretty much knows about like what he went through, and I just would love to see like that mindset of bouncing back from someone like that. So yeah. All right, guys. So we will see you in the next episode. Peace
out, guys. Have a great day.